every time. Always frozen every time. Hi guys, I'm back. It's been a long time since I made a YouTube video and I miss it, and I had some free time, so I asked you guys on the blog if there's anything you wanted me to talk about, anything you needed advice on, any stories you wanted me to tell, if you wanted me to do a little song and dance. Somebody messaged, and so basically somebody messaged me and asked if I could make a video about the stage in your relationship when you don't know whether you guys are boyfriend and girlfriend, whether you both have mutually romantic feelings, and how to deal with that, how to wait for that, how to be patient, and I guess essentially how to find out. I think the best way for me to share my thoughts on this is to talk about Ross and I and what happened with us, because God, it's like weird talking to yourself. Piece of hair. Okay, to talk about Ross and I's relationship and what happened with us, because we went through that too, and we kind of have a good way to talk about how to deal with it and everything. So, Ross and I were friends for 4 months. We met on Tumblr. One day Ross messaged me. He was like really excited that I lived in New York. He was jealous, blah, blah, blah. We started talking. And for 4 months, we spoke every single day, multiple times a day. Like, we did not stop talking. Ever since Ross found me on Tumblr and started that first message to me, we kept on talking. And it was mostly through Tumblr in the beginning, but it wasn't just like commenting on each other's posts or reblogging or anything. We were messaging, private messaging, direct messaging, whatever you call it. And it was multiple long messages a day, and you know, we were just friends though. It's not like we were talking about liking each other or anything. We were just kind of getting to know each other, and this went on for 4 months. And you know, here and there he would kind of say like, oh, if I was ever in New York I would take you on a date, and I'd be like, so awkward. I'd be like, yeah, if I had time. That would be my response, if I had time. Like, I was so not cool. I was not killing the flirting game. So, you know, we threw out things like that, but we didn't really say how we felt. And during those 4 months, I'd say, let's see, we met in July, August, September, mid-September, we started to Skype. It took me a while to Skype because I was so nervous that he wouldn't like me, you know, through person, I guess, because this is just like being in person a little bit. But I finally did, and then we were Skyping every night, multiple hours a night as well. So then it got to that point where we were just always Skyping. But again, we didn't know what we were doing. I knew I liked him. You know, I found out later on that he liked me, but we didn't know how we felt about each other. So basically, I was just like trying to do everything to make it clear to him that I liked him without being overly aggressive, I guess. I was very subtle, but I tried to at least show him I liked him. And I was waiting for him to, you know, say something, but he didn't. But I was kind of making it clear that, like, he was the only person I was talking to, and that he was the only one I was Skyping. Like, there was nothing there. And everyone that I had maybe spoken to before him, I wasn't talking to anymore. So I was just trying to give subtle hints like that. And he sort of was saying the same thing. He was like, anybody I was talking to before, I'm not talking to anymore. You're the only person I'm talking to, or the only person I'm Skyping. And so we kind of knew that, but we still didn't like say it. And then after a lot of Skyping, Ross, so we were on Skype and he looked really nervous. And I was like, what's going on? And he was like, nothing. And he's just laughing, he's giggling. And so I'm kind of nervous, and I'm not thinking he's gonna say anything, you know, about me, but I was hoping he would, I guess, but he didn't say anything. And then we ended our Skype call, and then you know how you can iMessage on Skype? So we just hung up, and then he messages me and he goes, wait. And I said, yeah. And he was just like typing this huge thing that essentially said, would you ever do long distance? He was like, I'm not trying to start anything now, but I do really like you, and there's no one else like you. So that was his way of kind of admitting that he liked me, and also seeing if I would do long distance. So I was like, yeah. I was trying to be super cool, because for some reason, even though I wanted him to know I liked him, I like didn't want to say it. So I was like, yeah, I would totally do long distance for the right person, but I wouldn't want to hold them back from anyone near them in their town. And he was like, well, there's no one like you near me, and there's no one like you that I've ever met. And I was just like, okay, same. really unchill. So he said, okay, well, that's just good to know. But we can just talk and be friends for now. I just wanted to know. So you know, 4 days later, now that he knew that I would do it, he asked me out and he asked me to be his girlfriend. And then la-di-da, here we are now. But the point of that story was Ross and I both liked each other, but we didn't know about how the other person felt. So a couple of things we did was hint that we were sort of only talking to this person. We kind of also emphasized how much we liked talking to each other, just so we can let that person know that this was actually fun for us and we weren't just doing it because they asked us to do it. And what was really important was that Ross, why did I call him Ross? Ross, R-O-S-S. What was really, really important was that Ross asked me how I felt about long distance and asked me if I'd ever do it. That was a really clever and easy way to find out if I'd ever be in a long distance relationship, because he knew that he was over 3,000 miles away, and finding out my thoughts on it, and then also kind of throwing in that he kind of wanted to do it with me by saying that there was no one like me in his town. I think those are the best kind of things I can say, because there's not much you can do, but hinting that you like this person, emphasizing that you love Skyping with them and this is like part of your favorite things of the day. Don't just wait for them to message you, also message them, because a lot of the time Ross that I didn't like him because it was always him messaging me. So knowing that now, I would have tried to write to him more. So what's helpful in showing someone that you like them is putting the effort in, not just waiting for it. Hint, emphasize that you like it, put the effort in as well. And then when you really just want to know where you guys are at, it's helpful to ask the question, like, would you do long distance? What do you think about it? You don't even have to say, would you do it with me? Because that's kind of like asking them out, but you just have to figure out their thoughts on it so you see where their head is at. Most of the time, you know, at least in my situation, you wouldn't ask that question unless you were trying to see if this person would do it with you, because why else would they bring it up? If you know you're the only person they're talking to that's, you know, long distance and you're the only one they're Skyping with, clearly they're asking because of you. So it's a subtle but really effective way to figure out whether they would do it with you. It's just asking them. I haven't done this in forever, as you can tell. So it's just a subtle but, oh my God, what is like happening right now? Nothing is coming out. Okay, let's try this again. It is a subtle and effective way to figure out whether this person likes you and whether they see a relationship with you. And then you can go from there. If it's something like Ross and I, where a few days later you ask the person out or get asked out, or if, you know, you ask them this question of whether they like long distance or whether they would do long distance or what their thoughts on long distance are, and their response is like, oh yeah, I would love to do it, especially with you, then hey, ask them out right there. But it's just a really convenient way. And in the meantime, when you're waiting for that, if you're trying to wait to be asked out, I guess, just keep hinting and throwing out these little signs that you like this person, because a lot of the time it can be hard for a person to know you like them. I had no clue Ross liked me. Like, that could be down to insecurity, but I just thought he was being nice, and nothing about what was happening made me think he liked me, but he did. So just throw out the signs, throw out the hints, make sure you emphasize that you really enjoy the talking and it's not just because of them asking you to talk. Guys, stop barking. There's a really serious video going on. Tony! Tone! Duke! Duke, it's okay. Tony! So many dogs. Tony, sit. Sit. Both of you sit. Paw. Good boy. Come here, good boy. Okay, everything's okay, alright? Anyway, just in the meantime, make sure you kind of hint to them. You don't have to tell them. I know that's nerve-wracking and it's like hard to do, but oh my God. Can I have like one more minute? Patiently wait, but patiently and in a very, you know, proactive way. So while you're waiting, make sure you make it clear to them that you like them. Tell them how much you enjoy Skyping, like I said. Hint that they're the only person you're talking to, and just know that it will happen when it's supposed to happen. And if you think that you're waiting too long, then just go ahead and ask them out yourself. It doesn't hurt, all right? Hope that helps. I know this video was very jumbled, but it's not like riding a bike. It takes some time to get back into it, and I had a bunch of dogs barking. Yes, you, Tony. He's licking himself while I'm talking to him. It's just like, it's very, very uncomfortable. Can we just give me a round of applause for a second that I didn't get any lipstick on my teeth during this entire video. Thanks, Tone. That is very tricky when you're not wearing matted lipstick, for it to not go on your teeth, and especially with big lips and teeth like I have that stick out. I mean, I'm pretty proud of myself. Sophie 1, lipstick 0.